Watch the 2026 Bach High Parade and Firing of the Bombs, March 21st and 22nd, right here on Yuba-Sutter.LIVE. Presented by Comfort Keepers of Yuba-Sutter and Nevada counties, our live parade coverage from Marysville's Chinatown starts just after 11 a.m. Saturday, with Firing of the Bombs at 4 p.m. Sunday. We'll have unscheduled reports from other parts of the Bach High Festival downtown. Couldn't catch the live streams? Watch our replay with festival coverage. 7 p.m. Sunday, March 22nd, the 2026 Bach High Parade and Firing of the Bombs. Presented by Comfort Keepers of Yuba-Sutter and Nevada counties, March 21st and 22nd, right here on Yuba-Sutter.LIVE.
Bishop?
Here.
Director Bradford?
Here.
Director Matthews?
Here.
Director Messick?
Here. Thank you. Andy's going to lead the Pledge of Allegiance.
Remove your hats. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Tom.
Mandy, could you read the public comment policy?
Public comment is an opportunity for members of the public to address the Board of Directors on any subject matter that is not on the meeting agenda and is within board subject matter jurisdiction. Public comment periods are limited to 3 minutes per person. The total amount of time for public comment is 15 minutes. Persons participating by way of video conference or teleconference shall ensure their audio is muted at all times except when the board chair announces public comment periods. At those designated times, members of the public wishing to speak shall enable their audio and state their name for the record. When multiple members of the public wish to speak, the clerk will determine the order of speakers and announce their names accordingly. To ensure proper conduct, the board reserves the right to mute the audio and video of any member of the public violating generally accepted principles and decorum of official public meetings. We don't have any in-person public comment, and there's no virtual.
Okay, thank you. Any public comment on the consent agenda?
Move to approve.
Second. Got a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The first discussion item is update and review of emergency contracting actions concerning the Colgate penstock incident and board determination that there is a need to continue the emergency action under Public Contract Code Section 22050 Subdivision C2. Willie.
Thanks, Mandy. Oh, good morning, board. So I'm going to give you an update on the incident before you guys take action on the emergency. First off, I'll just say a lot of what I'm going to show you is just more progress on what we've been working on since the incident. Last Friday marked the 1 month milestone post-incident. And I'll first start with Lake Francis Road repair. So we've contracted with Nordic Industries. That contract was awarded on February 24th. Work started on February 26th. The goal is to return the road to its pre-existing condition. When I say that, it's pre-existing width and drainage right now. Very likely won't get like a finishing asphalt for probably years until we're done with the work at the plant and on the penstock. Significant improvements have been made, but I do want to remind the public that the road is closed just past the last residence. So all the residents can make it to their houses, but we're closing the road and we have security at that point to keep people safe. So I will play the clip to show you the kind of the progress on road work. Okay, so you just saw before and after. I'm going to go ahead and play it again. Oh, sorry, my bad. Okay, so you can see we've improved the traveled surface. A couple of weeks ago, we were able to get pickup trucks and then 10-wheeler dump trucks down to the plant. And now we can access the plant to continue to improve conditions at the plant. And onto the Colgate Powerhouse. Obviously, with the road access down there, we're able to get fuel in for our backup generator. We're able to get people in and out safely and continue our work to remove sediment from the top deck of the powerhouse, open the powerhouse up, dry it out, and start testing all the equipment in the powerhouse, primarily starting with the electrical equipment. We've been on the standby generator since, a few days after the incident, or a few days after we had access to the site. But our goal is to get onto PG&E's, what we call station service, but grid power. And then what we will do is continue to improve the SCADA, basically the remote monitoring equipment, so we can get eyes on the plant, meaning remote eyes from our backup control room at the Power Systems headquarters in Oregon House. The SCADA system never really went down. It did lose backup battery power the early morning of the 14th of February following the incident. But once we got in here and got things powered back up, we do have microwave connection and we do have some SCADA, but now we need to improve those conditions. 2 Sundays ago, we started 24-hour manning Colgate Powerhouse. We have 2 people on a night shift so that they can monitor the equipment and monitor the heaters that we've installed to keep the powerhouse dry. So we have been running 24/7 operations at the powerhouse. Is primarily just monitoring for safety. The goal ultimately will be to get on PG&E grid power and then get some remote sensing, remote cameras and such, so that we can manage the night shift remotely from the backup control room at our facility in Oregon House. I want to talk a little bit about the sediment you see here. You have the upstream sediment fan, or the east sediment fan. Let me see if I can pull here and show you my pointer on there. Yes, you can. Okay. That's the upstream or the east sediment fan, and this is the downstream or the west sediment fan. And then you can see here we've got soil deposit on the top deck of the powerhouse. We have done soil sampling. We will follow all procedures for disposal of any contaminants that we do identify through the soil sampling procedure. We're currently identifying places primarily trying to find places on Yuba Water Agency property around the powerhouse and related facilities to stockpile and stabilize the soil for long term. But right now we're just kind of moving it off the top deck of the powerhouse until we identify those areas and also until we get the results of the soil sampling back. Here's some specs on those sediment fans. So the Colgate switchyard debris, so the area on the top of the powerhouse, is 13 feet deep in places, and it's estimated to be 11,000 cubic yards. The west fan would be here on the left, the downstream fan, is greater than 17 feet in places and estimated at 11,000 cubic yards. And the east fan is greater than 24 feet in places and estimated at 49,000 cubic yards, for a total of 71,000 cubic yards estimated to be deposited in and around the powerhouse. For reference, following major major seasons like 2017, where we get significant hydrology, we do dig out our house and log cabin dams. And for reference, in 2021, we removed 39,000 cubic yards of material behind our house dam. So when you compare those 39,000 cubic yards at our house, which is a significant effort, we have 71,000 cubic yards estimated to be deposited here. We are working on getting the emergency permits to begin removing those sediment fans. So once we get the soil testing results back, we do identify a place to take it. We will start removing those sediment fans from the river itself. Let me just expand a little bit on the powerhouse condition. I personally haven't been to the powerhouse. It'll be 2 weeks ago tomorrow. As you'll hear in my manager's report, I was in Washington, D.C. last week and just taking care of administrative stuff the last couple of days, and obviously attending this board meeting here. I will get out there as soon as possible to see the progress, but the reports that I'm getting is the work to clean out the powerhouse, to dry out the powerhouse and start testing equipment is going much better than I ever anticipated. To hear from the team yesterday that they're working with PG&E to get station service back up and running as soon as possible is another feat that it's not done yet, but it's something I thought would take months And they're talking about getting it done way quicker than that. So that'll be very helpful. I just say all these things to let you know that we're doing everything we can as fast as we can in a safe manner, and things are going better than I even anticipated. Okay, so you just saw kind of a before and after. I will play it again. So that's the existing condition the day after the event. And this is last Thursday. So you can see that they've made significant progress removing debris from the top of the powerhouse. And that effort was to try and keep the water intrusion at bay, or to prevent water intrusion. I think they've done a great job of that. And like I mentioned before, we've added heaters and ventilation to the powerhouse itself just to dry it out and dehumidify it. Okay, on to the environmental response. This is very similar to what I spoke about on March 3rd, but it's worth showing again, just because it is dramatic progress, but also to let you know that the middle of last week, we, with CDFW's concurrence, determined that Englebright was, the work to remove this debris on Englebright was complete, and then late last week, we terminated the Unified Command. We've been operating in Unified Command with California Department of Fish and Wildlife since Sunday the 15th, and that is now terminated. And that was a great partnership. We collaborated with them daily on the cleanup, and I think things went as good as they possibly could. Let me show you this time series of Englebright. That's the 20th, that's the 26th, and that's March 2nd. Here. Oh, I'd also want to thank our contractors, Global Diving and Salvage and Clean Harbors. They're the contractors that helped us with that cleanup work. And I mentioned California Department of Fish and Wildlife, but I will specifically mention their OSPR team, the Spill Response and Prevention team. They were great to work with throughout this cleanup effort. I mentioned that we terminated the Unified Command. I'll also let you know that we have been conducting water quality monitoring both above, within, and downstream of the incident site. And to date, we haven't found any petrochemicals or any other contaminants that are above levels that would be concerning. That is great news. And I want to give a shout out to Aaron Zettler-Mann of Circle. I know Circle has been doing their water quality testing as well, and they're finding similar results. So that's good that we have consistent data coming in. So here's just a shot of Englebright from last week showing kind of the results of the cleanup and the clean water. I will also mention that as part of that cleanup, there were 80 20-yard bins or 1,600 yards of oily debris removed from the site. Okay, on to public information and engagement. As you can imagine, the days shortly after the incident, it was wild. There was a lot of public engagement, a lot of media inquiries, a lot of interviews. I will have to say that the media has been accurate and either positive or neutral, and it has maintained that positive or neutral attitude or demeanor since the incident. Those media queries are slowing down, or the pace is slowing down. Immediately following our board meeting 2 weeks ago, I did a live interview on Insight, a long-form radio program on Capitol Public Radio, and then a team of Yuba Water Agency staff took folks from the SAC-B and CBS 13 out to Englebright on the site, took them out on a boat, and they were allowed to interview us. They were allowed to interview CDFW. They got to see the site near its kind of final cleanup condition. We'll continue to maintain transparency. That's one of our goals, to be straightforward with the public and be transparent. We plan to do that. Obviously, we're through kind of the immediate response and the environmental cleanup, but there's a long road ahead, and we'll keep the public and the media informed on our progress as we move forward and as we learn more about the cause of the incident.
Well, almost all of the oil and debris has been removed from Englebright Lake in Yuba County after a major pipe failed last month. And crews say that the cleanup is almost done.
There's a look at it right there. Your reporter covering Yuba County, Kayla Moeller, was the only TV reporter invited for an up-close look at that work.
In Englebright Lake, this is what's left of the oil-coated, woody debris that came rushing down the hillside after the penstock pipe failed above Yuba Water Agency's Colgate powerhouse.
The water and sediment that flowed downhill and impacted the facility hit a storage shed that had multiple types and quantities of petroleum-based oils.
Buckets of oil came tumbling down, being damaged along the way, some of them spilling into the water and onto anything in it. Yuba Water and its contractors immediately installed 3 levels of log and oil booms to box in debris in the area where the river starts to pour into the lake.
This is really our focus right now because this is where we're able to arrest the debris coming down the river. So as the debris made its way from Colgate, we were able to stop it just before it entered the reservoir.
This reservoir leads over to the Englebright Dam, which spills into the lower Yuba River, which flows all the way downstream. You can see here the progress they've been making at the head of the lake with cleanup.
We are using a combination of large barges and an excavator out there. Basically go up to the debris booms, reach into the debris area, grab the debris and put it into large bins.
Crews have removed 72 bins worth of debris from the lake, and that's equivalent to about 3,000 pickup truck loads.
Well, there's 2 bins on 1 barge, so that's 36 round trips for 2 different barges up and down this lake, 12 to 14 hours a day.
We have recovered some, buckets, an ice machine, an eye wash station, things like that, the stuff that we've lost down in the yard.
Crews say nothing got past the booms. Yuba Water is working closely with Fish and Wildlife's Office of Spill Prevention and Response on cleanup efforts and environmental impact.
We don't have any indication that any fish in the lake have been impacted. See the scope of how big this lake is. There's a lot of water for them to spread out. As far as oil or debris going downstream and potentially going over the dam, we can 100% confirm that has not occurred and will not occur.
While cleanup on Englebright Lake is wrapping up, there's still a long road ahead to recovery and discovery into what happened with the pipe failure.
Well, over the next few days, crews will be revisiting the area between that facility and the lake to make sure that they did not miss any oil buckets on the shoreline or pockets of debris. Yuba Water says that it could take months to determine the cause of that pipe failure.
All right, so that's a pretty good summary of the environmental cleanup effort. I want to thank Dee Dee for getting those folks out on the surface of Englebright to do that report. There was also a SACB reporter there. So I will let you know that while we've been successful on the cleanup on Englebright Reservoir, and we were successful in containing all that debris and getting it off the surface of the reservoir, there is still at least 1 vehicle and some electrical equipment in the river just downstream of Colgate Powerhouse. We will work in coordination with CDFW to remove that vehicle and that equipment once the flows recede. Now that we're seeing, the snow melt taper off and flows recede in the watershed in general, we'll decrease spill from New Bullard's Bar, and it'll make it easier to safely remove that vehicle and equipment from the river. So there's still work to do there. In addition to that, when we do start removing those sediment fans, you don't know what you're going to uncover in that soil debris. There might be additional, hazardous material there as well. Like I said, we'll do soil testing, and when we talk about hazardous material, it could be electrical equipment, it could be ice chests, whatever it might be. You don't know what's in those fans, so we'll continue to monitor that as we remove it. Okay, looking ahead. So one of the main things we're working on now is putting a forensic engineering team together to do the forensic investigation to find out what the root cause was to the failure. The Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, or FERC, is rightly so requiring that we have a group of engineers that are in the right profession. So metallurgists, different types of geologic engineers, probably 4 to 5 professions. These engineers have to be independent, meaning they have to have the right credentials and they have to have never worked on our project before. So we've identified those. Our list of engineers we're going to propose for that forensic investigation team is due to FERC on the 27th. We would like to try and get that to them sooner than that so this team can get that work underway. Getting that root cause analysis done will be a major milestone in determining, obviously, the cause of the incident, but also what it's going to take to repair the penstock and get the facility back up and running. In addition to that, we're working on a request for proposal for engineering firms to ultimately design the repair of the penstock itself and the foundation piers. We can work on that design in parallel with the root cause analysis. That design will have to be modified once we know what the direct cause of the failure was, but things like the foundation of the penstock piers up near the incident site, we can start designing those now. We're running a little bit of a risk that the direct cause of the root cause analysis changes those designs, but in an effort to get a repair plan in place and approved by FERC, I'm asking the team to put this proposal together, or this request for proposal together, so we can get that engineering team on board and start working on all the background information they're going to need to come up with a repair plan. So that work is underway. I've already talked about testing powerhouse equipment. That work will continue on. We need to go through every subsystem in the powerhouse. I mentioned we're starting with the electrical service for PG&E first. That's just so we can have the convenience of, grid power and get off of our standby generator. But every subsystem will have to be tested, from, circuit breakers for the station service to, governors to backup SCADA to primary SCADA to air compressors. Everything will have to be tested. We have the powerhouse at a point now that, it's accessible by pickup truck. We can get in and out of there. It's safe to be there. So that work will continue, and we'll get an inventory of what might have been damaged or what might need to be upgraded or repaired, and then what didn't get damaged and is going to work as it did before February 13th. So with that, those are the major efforts looking forward. I mean, you hear it from me, you heard it from Kayla in that TV clip. We do have a long road ahead. Getting the root cause analysis done will be a major milestone. Procuring materials for the penstock for the ultimate repair will be a long lead item. We'll get on that as quickly as possible, but not knowing exactly what the direct cause was, we're doing the best we can at this point. With that, I will conclude and take any questions.
Any questions from the board?
Through the chair, no questions, but just want to say props to our great staff again. So I know they're working super hard, and appreciate their dedication and hard work.
Yeah, thank you, Director Bradford. I will say this 24-hour shift situation, you obviously need a craft person or a trade there to monitor the equipment. But because we were working so hard and working long hours immediately following the incident, we identified the night shift team and we asked for volunteers to work the night shift. The trade person working the night shift. And then what we did is we went to the entire agency staff to find kind of the safety monitor to accompany that person on the night shift. And we've got people volunteered from the purchasing department, and other, hydrographers volunteered to work the night shift. So I appreciate your comment. I wanted to give a little more detail that this is an agency-wide effort. We've got volunteers throughout our staff volunteering to help. And so, that's a great piece of information for you to know, the dedication of our employees.
I had a question through the chair.
Yep.
Willie, could you give us an update on the employees that were injured and contractor that was injured? That's probably key to us.
So the significant injury was to the contract security guard. A couple of weeks ago, he was released from the hospital and he's recuperating at home. That's probably the best news. We do have some employees that sustained significant but minor injuries. We still have 3 employees that are off of work, and we're working with them to determine when they'll be able to come back to work. But I've talked to them all. They're all in good spirits. With that, I don't have any new information on a third party who was at the site that was injured. There was another minor injury to a third party. I don't have any updates on that, and I haven't heard anything negative about it.
Any public comment or questions? If not, I think we're ready for a motion to continue the emergency situation.
So moved.
Sorry. I think we had a second from Director Matthews. Yeah. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, we need to have a public hearing to consider adoption of the 2025 Agricultural Water Management Plan in accordance with Senate Bill 7-7X, also known as the Water Conservation Act of 2009. And after we have that presentation and hearing, we will consider adoption of resolution number 2026-12, adopting the 2025 Agricultural Water Management Plan. Charles Jonk will give us a presentation.
Morning, Chair of the Board, fellow board members, and the public. My name is Charles Jonk. I am a Water Resources Program Manager with the agency and excited to introduce our presentation for the 2025 Agricultural Water Management Plan update, otherwise known as the AWMP. So the AWMP is an update of our original plan in 2012, and we've had subsequent plans in 2015, 2020, and we recently updated it in 2025. The plan is a comprehensive document that covers the agency's current agricultural water management practices in collaboration with the member units. It also drives management objectives to become more efficient and accurate with water diversion and delivery measurements, irrigation methods, drought planning, and conjunctive use of our surface and groundwater. Agency staff are recommending adoption of this AWMP Ag Water Management Plan today. I'd also like to comment that this plan captures all the hard work that agency staff in our water resources group, our hydrologists, ditch tenders, have done over the last 5 years in operating and maintaining all the loggers, sensors, and telemetry equipment so that we can maintain compliance with the SB 77 regulations.